Well, howdy ho there, everybody. How are we doing today? Today, I just wanted to show you a little something I was working on while I talked about some stuff about Warhammer and, you know, embracing a bit of love in everything you do. So, I don't know what exactly got me to start doing this, but I was just imagining, what if we had like a Wacky Races type scenario with Warhammer and everybody was coming to watch it? And I thought that would be kind of fun. And, you know, I have thought about and talked to certain people about, people are like, well, you know, you're all about peace and love and thingies like that, or you try to be. Is Warhammer the best hobby to engage in? I mean, it is very much about the violence. And then I was like, well, why not inject a bit of love and fun into everything you do? And why not inject a bit of it into Warhammer? And, you know, I always really enjoy the idea of a bunch of different species in Warhammer getting together and doing fun things together just because, I don't know, it's just always really tickles my fancy, and it's just always been really nice. So I'm going to show you just a little bit of this little fun, I guess, diorama of sorts I've been working on. But basically, here you go. We have the racers, we have a Rough Rider Sergeant, a war boss from a rival tribe clan. We got a big battle wagon. We got this dark Aeldari Drukhari raider that I think is really, really pretty. Look how pretty it is. It's very pretty. And it doesn't have too much mean things on it. It has some hooks and a couple of skulls, but you know, hey, that's just for flavor. And then we also have this tank commander in a Punisher type Lehman Russ. We got some mechs making some last minute adjustments, checking everything. And of course, no one's allowed to blow each other up, but if they do, we have various ways to revive them with magic. Magic is very nice because you can just say magic and then, like, you know, basically do whatever. We also have this Gorkanaut here that's been, you know, parked, and people are currently enjoying concessions inside. But hey, we also have these guys down here. Look, we have this Mega Knob with Twin Killsaw and Ork Dread Dog and our Weird Boy, who are all enjoying this pie. And I thought about putting on like a big table or something, but then they were like, nah, pie time. So they just started, you know, digging in. And look, he's so excited. He's ready to carve up the pie. This guy's ready to nom nom nom. And this guy's, you know, listening to the voices in his head that are telling him to eat the pie. It's a very good voice in his head telling him to eat the pie. We also got some cat girl guardsmen who were just kind of watching, you know, doing some scouting type things, checking out everybody's vehicles. And then over here we have our Drukhari friend, the Archaon, and an Incubi, and some Imperial Guard people, and a few Orky people, and some cat girl guard people. And they're all over here enjoying the gigantic dino chicken nugget that they have been feasting on, picking off little bits of, and, you know, enjoying the crusty goody insides. These two are currently pointing out the drivers that they like the most, are trying to point past the big people eating the pie, and then, you know, this one is like, hey, you know, I'm putting some money on my raider. I think my raider's gonna do real good. And they're like, I don't know, I think that the battle wagon is a sleeper pick and that it's actually really good. And up here we have a Chaos Lord and one of his friends, his cronies, sharing some sushi with these orcs for the first time. And they've never had sushi before, so they're really kind of excited to try it. Look how excited he is. He's going to have to be careful about picking it up with his Giganto Claw so that it doesn't just crush it. But, you know, he also has his Tank Buster friend here who will spit some sushi onto the end of his rocket and then go into the mouth. And then we also have our friend here who is a captain, who is, you know, saying, oh, I'm gonna change this piece right here. And he's pointing to it with his sword, kind of, but, you know, ever since he lost his eye and has to rely on his targeting squig keeps targeting things and going, we should shoot that. And then he's like, no, we should try to eat. And then this guy's like, yeah, check out the power of Slash, and Slash real cool. And then this guy's like, not right now, we're trying to teach them to eat. And then there's a rhino that they showed up in. There's a truck. And then here's a little concession area where we got some Gretchens and some Rippers enjoying a big different variety plate. We got a taquito, we got a couple of chicken nuggets, some chips and guac. They really went to town on those, so there's just one left now. And then, you know, part of a burrito that they've been eating into, and these guys are really digging the burrito right now, so that's really neat. Then over here we got our Demon Prince, some Cat Girl Guardsmen, and this is one of my favorite little models I've seen. Basically, they got a biovore, they've been feeding it. They've been feeding a giant chicken nugget, dino nugget, And they've been using it as artillery, but now they're just kind of riding on it and taking turns riding on it because they're having fun. And then this is the Norn emissary, who is enjoying a big bowl of spaghetti. It's very good spaghetti. But these guys are all hanging out over here listening to the pre-game show done by these Noise Marines. Currently, I'm imagining that they're playing Super Beast by Rob Zombie. For a second there, it was escaping me. I'm imagining they're playing, yeah, yeah, I'm the one that you wanted. Yeah, yeah, I'm the Super Beast. And they're playing, and these guys are kind of rocking out and enjoying it. I like to imagine that, her tail is swishing into the building and crushing things as she's getting really into the music, and her brain is pulsating with pleasureness. And then the big demon prince here, she's like, hey guys, listen to my friends, they're very good. Please ignore my nipple chains. I did not realize what kind of event this was going to be. I would have worn more if I'd known. And then these cat people down here are like, yeah, the music's pretty good. When do we get some more snacks? And then they're going to go over to the concession stand later and get some more snacks. And yeah, I've just been having just a ton of fun just building this kind of thing. I don't know, there's something, also there is this over here, which I wasn't really sure where to put because it was very big, but a cheese plate. And I like to imagine that they're floating over to it with psychic powers to get some cheese occasionally and share it among their friends. And then this truck, the driver, is currently inside this building, and he is currently ordering a big plate of nachos. And I think that would be very tasty. And yeah, I don't know, there's just something very fun to me about, not getting too, caught up in like the warring part of this. Why not have something where the factions I like and things like that, which I thought about putting some Tau here, but I couldn't find some Tau models that looked a little more chill. So for right now, this is just what we're going to go with. In our next little diorama that we build, we'll definitely try to get some Tau folks in there. But these guys are just having a good time, eating, checking out this rural village. I like to imagine there's some German sausage on display, and they like the German sausage. And everybody's just having a nice time. There's something just very pleasing to me about taking factions that should hate each other and make them like each other. Like, I like all kinds of different factions from 40k. On the tabletop, my three favorite to play are Orks, Chaos Space Marines, and Drukhari. I have a lot of fun with those guys. I've tried Eldar before, but they just, regular Eldar just don't, I guess, appeal to me as much. I think the Drukhari models are just kind of prettier. They have like a kind of darkness about them, but I think you can still make them like really fun. I also really like my Girl Guard. Basically what these are is these are Final Fantasy XIV Mikote that somebody like put a lot of effort into modeling and made them look like Imperial Guard, and I think that's really fun and cool. And I just always think adding a little bit of fun to the stuff you're working on is very nice and cool and good. And I really enjoy being able to mess around with this kind of stuff and just kind of, make little displays. This is the same thing I used to do in Gary's mod. I'll probably do some of that in Gary's mod later too. Just building little dioramas where everybody's just having a nice time. Not everything has to be dark and grim. And I like Warhammer when it's silly and we get to have fun people interacting with each other and unlikely people interacting with each other. I think that's part of the fun part of the hobby. And yeah, sometimes we want to get into the deep lore and we want to be like, oh yeah, this is all the stuff that's going on. But sometimes it's fun to just be silly. And sometimes I wish I could just combine the different armies I love to have all these units working together. But I think then they would either A, be really weak because they're not all benefiting from the same army rules, or maybe it would be a little too strong. But we don't want that, we just want to have fun. Cats just want to have fun. You know what I mean? Jimmy Dean? Jimmy Ding 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 Ding. Oh, and this is the Tantalus that our Archaon... I keep saying Archaon, even though it's just Archon. That our Archon rode in on, and they're like, it's a big fancy thing, and all like that, but... I don't even know if this would really be the best thing to ride on. There's not like safety railings here, for instance, and like kind of seems like maybe you would want some of that, but it's okay. These guys are aiming, saying, hey, no, get us closer to the concession stand, get us closer to the cheese, and this guy's like, I can only fly so well. I can slice the cheese when we fly up higher, though. And then this guy over here is like, hey, I have a good knife for slicing the cheese.
and together they shall slice the cheese and enjoy it. There's some brie on there, I think. Mmm, creamy.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that we can inject a bit of love and a bit of the love of God into everything we do, and that we can have positive interactions, even in hobbies that maybe have undertones of violence or bad things like that sometimes. And you know, I don't think that engaging in a hobby like this or playing video games is necessarily going to make you bad, but sometimes it's really nice to just inject a little bit of positivity and silliness into it. You know what I mean? And, you know, I think God loves everybody, even the Drukhari who do a lot of bad things. And I really enjoy coming up with stories and backgrounds for all my people that make them feel like more positive figures. For instance, the leader of my Slaanesh warband, who was part of my larger Chaos Undivided warband, was kind of like a sub-warband. I don't know how exactly you describe that. But they were a Chaos Space Marine who was male, or at least had a male body, and they always felt like they, you know, didn't feel comfortable in their body. And eventually it took, you know, years of they did a lot of bad stuff to try and make themselves feel better, and then it didn't work. But then they found out that what they really wanted was to be, you know, like self-identified as a lady and, you know, ascend past their mortal coil. So they did, and they became the Demon Prince leader of my Slaanesh warband, and they kind of view Slaanesh as a bit of a liberator, as someone who can unlock your true potential and let you be what you really want to be without having to go straight into the negative excess, but into the excess of love and brotherhood and acceptance. And I think that's really fun and cool, and I like that. Or my Orks, who are just, you know, basically a bunch of weirdos who capture humies and others and put them into a very large bureaucracy and make them do all of the bureaucratic work for them to keep their empire running, while the Orks run around and do all the crazy stuff. And the humies are like, oh, well, actually we get a really good life. Just basically a normal life where they have like supermarkets and stuff like that, while the Orks go crazy in the background. And I think that's a lot of fun. Or I haven't really come up with a good story for the Drukhari yet. I was kind of thinking somehow they got like crap into serving someone like who's a good guy, or maybe they're just kind of Ynnari and now they're trying to, like, you know, make up for their lost time of being bad people, wanting to be, you know, better people, stuff like that. There's all kinds of fun different ideas that we can inject into our stuff. Or if you just want to be grimdark and, you know, just I'm a big guy with a chainsword, you can do that too. We can all have our fun parts of the hobby, and we can all do things that engage us in ways that make us happy. And I think that's really important, and that's what I love about Warhammer. I love that we can all kind of, you know, come to it and do our own thing with it. We can all have our own little armies, our own little backstories, or we can just, you know, use the backstory, the backdrop of the lore as it is. You know, like maybe you just want to play Salamander, maybe you just want to play Minotaur. I think the Minotaurs look pretty cool, even if they're not the nicest guys. But, you know, like, you can do whatever you want, and that's kind of part of what's so fun about this hobby, is that we can kind of turn it into whatever we need it to be for us. We can turn it into something that's, you know, really wacky and silly like this, or we can make it really grim, dark, and serious. We can make it really philosophical. We can do all sorts of fun things. And I think that's, you know, really, really nice, and I've been really enjoying going through and just, you know, playing around and doing silly stuff like this. And I hope you guys enjoy this silly stuff too. I just felt like sharing it. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day, and remember to be as silly as you want or as serious as you want, and remember that God loves you no matter what you're doing. And remember that I love you and God loves you, and bye-bye, I love you, bye! Have a great day, and remember to hug your loved ones and tell people that they matter to you. Okay? Okay, bye. Bye, love you, bye.